Alright, we got the chassis up on the bench. We're going to get it checked out. We've pulled the tubes on it and got them marked or engraved. The base is engraved, except for the two metal tubes. That ink on those tubes doesn't come off very well. It doesn't smear that I can tell. But all the other tubes that have the phenolic base and are the glass tubes, they're engraved now. So if you lose the text on the glass, it's engraved into the base. So, and I do that for all the tubes that I yank out of there that are glass tubes of that nature. Now, remember I said something about the pigtails that were still sticking out here, and made mention of the previous Crosley that I thought it had a field coil. Well, it's supposed to have a field coil. This one does not. It probably got burnt out and they had to replace the speaker, or either that or somebody bagged the speaker out of the thing for parts and wanted to put a different speaker in it for some reason. Take your pick. But anyway, that was what the two little wires were clipped right there on the socket was. So I noticed that the audio transformer, it looked like it wasn't an original one. So they probably matched a transformer to the speaker and to the thing here and made it work essentially for this radio. And upon further investigating, here is the replacement for the field coil right there. I've checked it out. It's 1500 ohms. I think this is a 10 watt, maybe. It might be a 5 watt. Could be a 10 watt. It might even be a 5 billion watt. I don't know. So anyway, that is why that's in here now for free, whatever. So we're gonna go through and we're gonna check everything per my rule of thumb that I haven't followed in a year and a half probably. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to inspect and test all the tubes. The tubes are over there. They're going to get ready to be tested. We're going to test all coils and transformers. All these coils here and the power transformer and the IF transformers and the audio transformers and the speaker voice coil. We're going to replace all the E-caps before we do a prep for initial power up. We're going to get rid of that. We'll replace that filter, that line to ground cap with a safety cap also at that time during our stint with this thing. And then we're going to bring it up and do a test on it once I get everything back in order. So what you're going to see is me actually testing the components in the chassis and verifying that they're okay. Now I'm not going to have a picture-in-picture for you to see which points on the schematic that I'm testing the components at. But if you wanted to download 66TC and do a reference to what my verbiage is, you can follow along that way. I'll roughly show it on the schematic where I'm at, and then you can delve into yours a little bit more in depth once we're done. So stand by. I'm going to get set up and prepped for checking this out, and then we'll get started. Okay, we tested the tubes. These two were the only bad ones in the bunch. The power output tube, the V6, and what is this little sucker? SA7. You know, most of the SA7s and most of the radios that have SA7s in them have all been bad. I'm sure there's a good reason for that. I'm not too sure about what it is though, but I'm sure if you look hard enough, somebody will give you a clue. But it might have something to do with the caps being bad in something or other. Let's see. I pulled two off the shelf. Fortunately, I have a good supply of these. So we're gonna put that in the circular file. So now we've inspected and tested tubes. So that's off the thing. So we're going to test all coils, transformers, about the end of today. So let me get set up here. I got my enlarged schematic. Let's see. This is the one here. It's like half a sheet on an 8.5 by 11 with the two voltages in the lower section of it, and the operating characteristics of the radio in the middle. So we took the top portion and enlarged it to fit on the entire 8.5 by 11. Let's see. Oh, there it is. That sheet is for the other positions on the band switch, showing you which circuits are switched in and out. So first I'm going to start with the speaker and its audio transformer, and we'll check that. Let me get the tripod for the radio, or for the camera, set up. I may stick it in that thing and give an overhead shot. Maybe that would be better. I'm not going to do a picture-in-picture of the meter values that it's displaying. We're just going to do a continuity check with tone. So hang on for that. Okay, checking the speaker. Hopefully you can hear what's going on with the continuity tester. Check the voice coil. Good. And we'll check the primary on the audio transformer. Okay, we won't get a tone on that because of the values are so high. We'll have to I think I'm in the right holes and the right pins. Okay, we're not getting a reading or tone or anything or nothing on this transformer. So the primary of the transformer is dead. So we'll move on. So stand by. Okay, now we're going to check the IFs, the first IF and the second IF. The first IF is off the plate of the A7 tube, which is that one underneath there. So that would be that red one there. I know you can't see it, but it's down here. It is the plate. It is the key is here. 1, 2. It's on pin 3. Okay, one leg of it's on pin 3, and the other one is tied together with the primary of the second IF. And that would be that one. And that's on that terminal strip. 30.5 ohms. So let's document that. 30.5. Okay. The second comes off of pin 1, 2, 3, 4 of the K7, which is this one here. No. This one here. Pin 4. Pin 4, pin 4, pin 4. 1, deuce, 3, 4. And other one. Comes off of up here. There's tone 30.7 ohms. Okay, let's talk about that. 30.7 ohms. Now, the second IF is going to be one of these red ones, which is pin 8 of the K7 tube, one of the K7 tubes, and the one that's over in the second IF stage. And let me see. Has one. That's not one. There it is. Pin 1, 2, 3, 4 of the V6. V6? And we're reading 28.3 ohms. 28.3. Alright, now the secondary comes off of pin 4 of the Q7. Pin 4. Pin 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one here is going to be through a 47K resistor that is I think it's mounted on the inside of the can. So I'm going to have to switch over to ohms. And we're reading 57K. Well, that's tolerable, I think. So we'll write that in for right now, 57K. So that takes care of the first and second IF. Now we're going to have to check these coils here. And these coils can be a bit of a squeaker because typically there's a common ground and all the other ones loop through it. So with multiple coils on the tube, it's hard to tell exactly which ones you're measuring at any given point. If you're getting tone everywhere, well, then I guess all the coils are viable. But if you don't get something across a couple of the doggone things, well, then I'm thinking that you might have an issue there. And if you're not getting anything else during the battle, then there is a suspect coil. So what I'm going to do, fortunately for the radio that I did before for the subscriber in Texas, I have this little jewel left over from his little escapade. I've got this coil identified, that coil identified, and I got this coil identified, as well as the band switch, the connections to everything. So this is liable to be a little walk in the park, down memory lane, if you will. I don't remember if I did those tests on his radio, and I'm pretty sure I didn't. But on this, it would just serve to confuse. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and do all the connections, and if I run into a problem, you'll know about it. Trust me. Hopefully, it won't be an issue like I had with that Tropic. So let me get that done, and then we'll get into something else. So stay tuned. All right. This video is going to get kind of lengthy, and I didn't really want it to get that way because everybody else is doing it this way. That's the reason why I don't do detailed videos. I do my thing, and then I show you what I did, and it's just quicker that way. That way you can move on with your day. So let's move on. We're going to check the power transformer now. It has dual voltage secondaries and a primary winding and a high voltage winding. We're going to check the AC line in on the primary of the power transformer, and I've already investigated it. These yellow dots right here are the pins 3 and 5 of the Y3 tube. They're using those as tie points for the primary of the transformer. So we're going to check that now. Let me turn my Chinkamwonky on. Okay, what did I say? 3 and 5. 3. You're not going to be able to see too much of what I'm doing. That's the reason why I'm telling you right now. Okay, there's pin 3 and here's pin 5. 6.6 ohms. So we're good on the primary. Now, the 5 volt winding for the filament voltage of the Y3 tube. We'll check that at the Y3 tube socket pins 2 and 8. That's where they're tying that into. So the Y3 pins, let's go in the back door here. Pin 2. Come on. See if I can get in here to it. Pin 2 and pin 8. 0.5. We are okay. So that takes care of the 5 volt winding and the primary. Now for the 6.3 volt secondary winding, we are going to any of these heater pins pin 7 on any of these sockets right here in blue, we can check it at those points because that's where it ties into. The other leg is to ground, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to ground, and we're going to go to pin 7 of the SK7 one of the SK7 tubes. And we got 0.6, so we're okay there. Now that takes care of those. Now we just need to get the high voltage taken care of, and that's going to be pretty straightforward. Ground is the center tap, and the 2 red leads are the high voltage, and they tie to pin 4 and pin 6 of the Y3. So let's go to pin 4, right there, and right here, and we got 401. Now let's check each leg. We'll go to ground. Go to ground, and we'll go to pin 4, and we have 206, and on pin 6 we have 196. So we're there. Hey, the transformer is good. That's what we like to hear. Now, just to touch base real quick before we end this out, here are the test points in orange that we made on the IF transformers. Hopefully you can see that okay. Here is one test point over here on the speaker socket, and here is the one for that. That's the one with the resistor on the inside, and there is the other one coming over to goes to the plate of the detector. So there's that. The rest I'm going to make a quick check of that offline, and then we'll test it out in battle. So thanks for watching. Sorry this thing went a little lengthy, but I didn't want to have a bunch of mini series in between 2 main topic points. So hopefully the rest of them are going to be quick and down and dirty. So have a great day. It's Sunday, the 30th of April. May's knocking at the door. Thanks for watching.